Hey there, welcome to our studio. I'm Frank Korb. And when you finish an artwork or are in the works of finishing an artwork, what kinds of things do you think about as you're running into problems or seeing successes? Okay, well, those are all good things to think about. It's called reflection. That's part of what we have to do as artists. So come on over. Let's talk about it. Part of the process that we go through as artists while we're making our art is what's working, what's not working. And we're clearly our worst critics. We see everything that's problematic. I'm fortunate. I get to be an art educator, an art teacher, and I get to help my students, my clients, my people, you, see what they're doing right. Yeah, there might be a whole lot that's not working, but there's always something that you're doing well. The last time you made an artwork, what was something that went well for you? Well, that's great. Congratulations. I just finished a whole bunch of throwing on the wheel, and one of the pieces I'd never made before was a sugar bowl for a friend. And I had made some small little cups also and some saucers for it, and I really wanted the sugar bowl to kind of match that. And of course, it's not going to be the same size or the same idea, but I was really, really happy with the results. I checked everything over, looked at the general shapes, and the lid fit pretty good, and that was great. Little celebration there. But that same day, I forgot to cover some pieces, and they dried out too fast, and I was forced to throw them in the recycling bucket. And so the sense of reflection there is you got to make sure to do all the parts. You got to make sure to fill in all those processes. And process is something that we've talked about. But when you think about your own reflection on the work, how much time do you spend thinking about the things that went well? Is it after every brush stroke, you take a step back and look at it? That was me for a while as a painter. Is it after 15 minutes and you're working on something and you step back and you think about it? Is it like in pottery, between pieces or between pulls? Or is it at the end of an entire session? Or maybe for you, reflection is when you're done with the piece. Or maybe you don't reflect on it. And if you don't, you're not analyzing your work. I think you're missing a big part of the process of being an artist. Analyzing is part of how we grow. One of the things that I think about and believe in is, yes, we're going to learn as we make on one piece, but for me, and I think for some others, and I teach this in class, is that we learn between pieces. So the greatest amount of learning is what happens not at the end of this piece or at the beginning of this piece, but what happens in between those pieces. What were some of the skills you worked on here and developed that you can then put into this piece? What are the skills you learned in the last piece you've made? Mine, I can throw a lid that fits inside of a jar. I can throw a gallery. What are a few things that you learned in your last piece? Excellent. Well, congratulations on that. As you move into your next piece, or you continue this current one, think about what you've been doing. And don't be so hard on yourself. We're our worst critics, obviously. Yes, those of you who've made it out into the big world have your own gigantic critics writing huge long articles about you and either praising or criticizing your work, and that's great for you. Not the criticism so much, but hey, any press is good press, right? But for those of us who are still working in our studios and we've got our own audience, big or small, we need to do that reflection for ourselves. Another thing you can do is find others to help reflect with. Find a small group of people. And I'll steal the idea from David Bales and Ted Orland's Art and Fear. Have a pizza party. Bring your work over, order some pizzas, talk about the piece, and enjoy each other's company. And work on developing that community, that culture. Anyways, thanks. Now, think about reflecting. Reflect on reflecting. And go on out there and make some great art. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye. One last note on analyzing. Analyzing and creating are two separate things. Don't try to do them at the same time. Look up Sister Mary Carita Kent's rules and follow them.